go and just get started.
Woo!
Shout outs to load screens.
It's a pretty fresh load screen. Got to zip
All right,
up.
it's right when the cursor appears in the middle of the screen. And go.
Woo!
So, hey guys, welcome to Mirror's Edge Catalyst. This is New Game Plus, and we'll just start off with a roll call. I'm Matchbox Matt.
I am John Carls.
I'm Black Belt Ninja. I stuck around.
And I'm Alex, HXC 15.
Yep. And this category, New Game Plus, is when we take a completed save with all the skills unlocked, and we proceed to play through each mission one at a time in the mission replay screen. This first mission release is by far the most difficult. Tons and tons of stuff is going to be going on, so I'm going to be mostly turning it to the guys behind me for all the commentary.
Yeah, we're going to have to blitz explaining some tricks just because there's a lot going on in the first part. But once we get through this, a lot of it sticks around.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff. We got a little bit of everything in release. Coming up here, we're going to do a warehouse skip. We're pretty much just going to jump on top of a warehouse instead of going through it, which skips a bunch of tutorials and stuff you don't need to worry about.
Yeah.
So the basic, he's going to climb up the side of the building using quick turns or Q turns. He's basically going to manipulate the camera so he can jump to the side instead of doing a 180 with a quick turn.
Yeah, you can quick turn and double wall climb on perpendicular walls, which is kind of intended, but it can be abused.
Woo!
Mm-hmm. Nice.
That is a very tough trick.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder than maybe it even looks. The success rate is not as high as you might think. So that was awesome.
But once you're up here, it's not over because we still need to get over a pretty critical gap using a wall boost, if you want to explain that.
Same thing as the first game, a wall boost. The game kind of sucks you in. It gives you that extra speed, and you just kind of get off the wall real quick, and it boosts you over. Wall
Yeah.
boost.
All the walls kind of have magnets that pull you in. So yeah, just jumping quick enough out of that wall run is what makes sure that you maintain your speed.
And then coming up here, we got a ledge board. He's going to springboard off the ledge just like that and get sucked in the corner.
Wow. Yeah, that's really hard.
Kind of
really
handhold
good start.
mechanics there, yeah. The game just kind of wants you to get on that ledge.
Yeah, something about corners just have really weird collisions. So you can, if you aim toward corners, you'll really magnet it up and get the step up that he wants to get.
Yep.
Another quick out of bounds here. Just skips having to go around the building, and you can grab the zip line a little early.
Yep, and then he's going to do float glitch coming down here. Basically, he's going to glitch himself into a floating state by crouching and falling off the edge, which you can do on any ledge in the game. Just float around to the door.
Yeah. It's not actually used as many times as you think it would be, because a lot of the times you're moving upward in missions and not downward. But
You have yet to find the upwards floating. That would be super nice. This is the butt skip. He's basically going to just hit a trigger behind the door.
you got to crouch and jam your way back into that door, and that makes sure that the game registers that you beat the whole tutorial section, which he didn't, but it's all good.
Yeah, this is one of those games that starts out with just a litany of very difficult tricks and kind of heavy reset points just starting off right off the gate, and Matt's doing a really great job just hitting each of these and really executing well.
Right here, another trick.
So the corner wall climb is what he's trying to do there. He's going to wall run real quick and then jump and turn his camera so he gets a wall climb around the corner. It's not the easiest thing to do because it's super super quick. It's got a small window to jump off and turn.
Yeah,
That one was my fault.
Nice.
there we go.
Nice.
So that pretty much just kind of skips that whole floor and just kind of gets you to the next floor.
So do you guys want to explain kind of what abilities you take over into New Game Plus that help you do a lot of these tricks and tech?
Well, basically, you got a skill tree in this game, unlike in the first game. So you have to unlock a lot of your basic parkour moves that you can do, like rolling and quick turn itself, among combat upgrades where you do more damage and other movement things.
You mentioned the grappling hook.
Grappling hook, yeah. So you get a couple mag upgrades, the mag hook or mag rope.
Yeah, mag rope, I think.
Mag rope. You can only use the mag rope in certain situations. That's specific lock-on points, but normally you don't have those.
It's used to block story progression in the 90%, but in New Game Plus, you can just use it for movement.
Yep. And the hardest is behind us.
Yeah, good job. You can get stuck in release because there's so many things in it, and this just feels good once you get out here.
Yeah. It's worth noting that anytime that you're in a building, usually each floor has like a ton of running around. You can see all the red stuff. There's runner vision in this game too. And the game kind of guides you all over the place, but if we're ever in a building and you see me jumping up to the next floor, you can assume that I'm skipping a lot of content.
There's a lot of interesting things that changed from Mirror's Edge to Mirror's Edge Catalyst, but a lot of things that almost stayed the same. Like in the original Mirror's Edge, you could get to full speed using abuse of a mechanic, the side jump boost. But in this game, it's an intended mechanic. You can get to full speed instantly, wherever you want.
All right.
Awesome. Great release. So do you guys want to tell us what the story of this game is? Like, what is going on here? Other than just run around a bunch of Gap commercials.
I'll let you guys take that one.
I don't know. I think you got this one covered.
Well, we usually skip a lot of the story.
There's a lot going on yet. It's
Yeah, we're trying to save the world.
pretty much.
Nice. It's a very unique story.
It starts off with you having to a couple tutorial missions where you're learning the ropes, and then you go into some missions where you're repaying a debt, and then while you're repaying your debt, some stuff happens to your friends.
And meanwhile, I jumped to my death. And
Oh yeah.
So what that was, he pretty much just skipped the cutscene and got the teleport trigger that would happen after the cutscene. For whatever reason, landing in that area just skips it.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see him jump off of a building intentionally to land somewhere to hit a landing zone for a different area and trigger that. So not all of the falling is intentional.
Another cool little speed tech here is just springboarding with a ceiling above you. Gives you horizontal momentum too. So you can use that in a couple of locations to gain a little bit of speed.
Get to see a little bit of the combat in the game here. A lot of kicking people in the face.
Yeah, you do
Nice.
more damage when you come down from the top, as well as if you kick off of a wall run or a wall climb.
Yeah. So the combat ends up coming down to finding a wall and just sticking to it and letting the guards come to you a lot of the times. Which you'll see here pretty much.
So as you can see, like the game kind of pulls me whenever I'm attacking enemies. As long as I'm in the air or bouncing off of a wall, I'm going to get some damage boosts. And all the New Game Skill Plus, New Game Plus skills will give you some extra damage. So that these guys perish pretty quick.
Yep.
You're okay. I took care of them.
So that's the first basic mission for your heavy combat tutorial, and then this next mission, Be Like Water, is known for trying to teach you flow combat, which is the game's way of trying to let you defeat enemies while also still running. But there is a skip for it.
Yeah, we have something really cool. So we have a runner named JD who comes up with these crazy skips. And they're notorious for saving only like 2 or 3 seconds, but they look super cool. So, and they're also tremendously difficult, but we're going to go for it.
I'm there.
Sometimes you got to go for it.
Yeah. Before that, there's one quick thing you want to explain. It's the collision boost. Do you
So
want to?
the C boost coming up, collision boost. Basically, if you do a wall run and you collide with an object and jump off, nice. You get a little boost. You get to go a lot faster than just a normal wall boost, which you can chain through bunny hops.
Yeah, bunny hops are really weird because it's not the first frame that you need to jump off of. It's just a specific frame right when you land, and you can maintain your speed from the wall boost with that jump. So you have to use spacebar. You can't just spam the scroll wheel like you would in the original Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, there's the input threshold. You can't actually do it at all.
Ooh,
Nice.
got it.
Good stuff.
That's good. That's a lot harder than it looks. If you don't jump off that wall quick enough, you won't maintain the speed for your wall boost. And there's also a lot of stuff in your way that could stop you from getting the wall boost. So
Yeah, guys, we did it. We saved 3 seconds. Woo! Let's go.
So
But
Matt,
yeah.
you said in your interview that a lot of people criticized this game critically when it came out. What are the things that you would say to people that maybe kind of just wrote it off when it came out in terms of wanting to play it? I know you're really passionate about the game. and
Yeah,
really like it.
it's no secret. I absolutely love this game. And I think a lot of people didn't give it a shot because most of the reviews were like, yo, the story's not too hot. But the gameplay is so good. But
Yeah, the story
I'll just
clearly
let it
stuck
speak
with
for
you with
itself.
that explanation.
yeah,
Dude, saving the world through parkour.
Yeah.
So this mission is pretty much the first actual mission. The first 3 were kind of tutorials and everything. It starts off with a bang. We got a really difficult wall run that he's going to try to do over a really large gap.
yeah, we really got to rely on the magnet to get over this.
Yeah, nice. So that's not very easy.
Then we skip a couple floors.
Yeah, and that's just the double wall climb coming into.
And now I'm on a timer.
Ah,
No, it's fine. I have to get around this elevator as fast as possible so I can attempt this clip that was found very recently. It was added in the past couple weeks.
Yeah, something Matt said earlier kind of sticks with me because I've watched him play this casually a lot, and sometimes it's really hard to understand what's going on because it's pretty chaotic. But anytime he's
Got
jumping
it.
up a wall,
Perfect.
That trick is crazy hard. So, it skips having to open the elevator doors and climb up some stuff on the sides. So it saves quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's awesome. I'm sorry. I was just going to say, anytime you're climbing up a wall, like you said, and going to a different floor, you're actually skipping a considerable amount of content. And it might not be obvious to a casual viewer, but he's really doing a lot of this as unintended. It might just look like, oh, this game's intended to be parkour, and it is, but he's doing a lot of extreme things to skip different floors and different sections entirely of intended play.
Including stuff like this.
Yeah.
There's another example of the corner being used to pull you up really well. And then the double wall run to save some time and cut some corners.
Wow.
There's pretty much a lot of just getting to the second floor by a much quicker route than intended. Like, usually the red will tell you to go around a room, so they make like 3 extra rooms for you to go through in a lot of levels, but you can just kind of get to the second floor. Jumping up.
This girl's definitely going to deal with arthritis when she gets older, though. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, Lord.
And then this is another example of using the interact to really slide you to where you need to go. The interact key gets you through that.
Yeah, interactables are kind of broken. Also, this room is like a minute long, and Runner Vision guides you through all these vents and stuff, but we do it in like 10 seconds.
It's awesome.
You might notice that each time that I'm going on a staircase, the screen is vibrating because I'm mashing jump, and it pushes me up the staircase even faster. I grab onto those instead of doing a double wall climb so that I can get a smooth entrance into vents. It's the tiny stuff that counts.
I think Galaxy just had an aneurysm. He hates that.
You would not be pleased. This would be a good time for a donation.
Absolutely. We have $100 from Tier Warrior. It says, thank you so much for running Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I waited years for this game after playing the original, and seeing it here being broken this way is great. Good luck on the run. Put this towards Emily's story in Dishonored 2. $100 from Anonymous. Love GDQ. This is awesome as always. Keep it up.
Nice. So right there, if you go to the side of the window when you break through the glass, it actually is supposed to be slow motion, a little slow-mo cutscene. But if you go to the left, you can skip the slow-mo.
Some cool bunny hops right there. You'll see this is what the slow motion would have looked like. This is one of the slow motions you can't skip.
Yes, there is a trigger or a checkpoint on the rope that you have to get to continue the mission.
Yeah. There's a couple other occasions where we burst through glass, and we didn't really point it out, but yeah, as long as you look away from the center, you skip that slow-mo cutscene. This is also affected by New Game Plus skills. Since we have the mag, we can get to the end of the mission even faster by taking this little shortcut.
Yep. And 80% you'd go around the buildings, but New Game Plus gives you this luxury.
Any% has a lot of really cool tech too. We figure out ways around not having double wall climb or quick turn to gain the height that we need for certain things. But the first half of the run is very different since we have all the skills unlocked. We won't have all the skills normally in any % until Flytrap, which is about halfway through.
Yeah.
And we are done.
So that's the 4th mission, right? Out of 15.
Yeah. So Savant Extraordinaire, if you blink at the very beginning, it's going to pass right by you. This mission is completely broken. Normally you go up this elevator and you go to this other building and then you have to play through all of this stuff. It's like a 5 or 6 minute mission, but we skip all of it, and I'll just show you how. You can do this at home. It's really easy.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite missions in the game, just because of how quick it is.
So
it's kind of annoying, though.
Yeah, we grab onto an imaginary rail. It's in there, and then I'm going to establish a checkpoint. So
Yeah, if you stand still long enough, the game will checkpoint you.
yeah, so this is a frame-perfect jump right here. But if we get it, then we skip the entire mission.
So normally you'd be going up through the tower and everything, but instead you can just corner wall climb nice.
Wow.
Nice.
That's really hard.
You just get that corner wall climb and you're able to make it to the final checkpoint and just kind of finish it off.
Another thing I would say to note is that the Mirror's Edge Catalyst community actually judges themselves by in-game time. So a lot of times messing up trips like that kind of doesn't penalize you quite as much because the loading times don't count towards your time.
Yeah. We had people develop an automatic load remover, which is awesome. But yeah, the mission finished, by the way.
Nice.
That'd normally be like a 4-minute, 5-minute
Cheater.
mission.
Yeah.
maybe.
Just cheating.
I am. So I went to the very last checkpoint, and it's just the way the checkpoint system works in Mirror's Edge Catalyst, is that sometimes you have these checkpoints that you have to hit or else the mission won't progress, and then other times you can run to the end of an area and it'll allow us to continue.
So Benefactor is one of my favorite missions just because it's super fluid if you can do it well. And
Yeah.
there's not super big skips in there. There's a new tech that we get to use, the map turn later on, which is very similar to Q-turning, but it's a bit more precise because you can use the map to rotate the camera.
Yeah, so right there, he just used double wall climb to skip a lot of ladders. Like in the first game, if we can avoid ladders, we do.
That was a nice little optimization there. Oop.
It's really cool.
Yeah, something that's only possible in New Game Plus.
And then coming up here, he's going to do another just set of wall climbs that's going to put him... again, it just saves a lot of having to go around in circles. This double wall climb right here.
I'm guessing that mask too.
And then he's going to briefly go out of bounds using the springboard.
Oops. Sometimes this gives you a hug. It doesn't want to let you go. But that's actually out of bounds, very, very briefly.
I'm getting them out.
Hugs are nice, though.
The fire alarms will do it.
So normally this mission is about you're going to take down the building for your benefactor. His name is Dogen. He wants you to drop the tuned mass dampener in the building, and it will break down the building and everything. But instead, we're just going to be making our way to the final checkpoint, so you don't even have to do it. It
Yeah.
skips a good 5 minutes.
And it saves the building.
Save the building.
Wow.
Fire alarm prank.
Yeah, so speaking of fire alarms, we're about to trigger one right now. And we have the means to get up here even faster with out of bounds, but because of the checkpoint of that vent, we have to go through there. Otherwise, you won't be able to hit the fire alarm. Also, testament to DICE, this is kind of like their, I don't know, like their little technical showcase. So all of this is the open world, by the way. Like you can run through all of that stuff, and as we zoom out, it just keeps going and going.
Yeah, it's a good point to note how just like visually stunning this game is. I think it's really gorgeous. A lot of fun to watch it get broken.
It's kind of a shame New Game Plus skips a lot of the open world navigating, but at the same time, it also streamlines the speed run.
Yeah.
This is a cool trick.
Yep, this is the map turn coming up. So basically, he's going to quick turn, and if he opens the map, he can actually move Faith's camera or move her direction with the map, allowing him to precisely jump the direction that he wants to go. And that just takes you to the poles, and you just climb to the end, the final checkpoint, and you make your way out.
Awesome.
Enjoying myself.
So while you go down, Matt, I think we need to ask the question everyone's asking. What's it like being the Orlando Bloom of speedrunning?
Well, no comment. No comment.
That's fair.
No. This would be a good time for a donation.
Absolutely, and we're getting quite a few of them. With $40 from Tamoa, says, "Hey Matt and Alex, hi from the Catalyst Discord. We eagerly await your fantastic wall kicks. Don't mess up Flytrap. And finally, world record, check. His own emojis, check. Beautiful voice, check. Face of MEC SGDQ, check. Who is it? Oh, it must be Matt.
I agree.
10 out of 10 pasta.
$150 from Rockus, who says, watching GDQ has become one of my favorite biannual events. Shout out to Joe, Jim, and Eric. You guys make it that much more fun. Oh, donating to a good cause is pretty great too. Kill the animals.
Oh.
We are hitting the halfway point in the run with Flytrap. This is usually the run ender for most people because it has two really, really demanding skips. They're quite big and very technical to pull off, but I think we'll be fine, hopefully.
I agree.
Fast. There's also Skip, which skips like 2 minutes of platforming. It's tremendously easy. Again, you guys can do this at home.
Do you guys want to explain Flytrap Skip before he starts, just so people can kind of see what's going on while it happens?
A little bit, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, I can explain Elevator when he's doing it, but what he's going to be doing up here is basically an ode to Jackie Chan. I think somebody watched a couple, one too many Jackie Chan movies. He's just going to go ahead and get down using the vents here instead of doing a bunch of platforming.
That's really bad for your wrists.
There you go. Now he's going to be doing an elevator skip coming up here. Basically, he's just going to skip riding in the slowest elevator in the game by wall running and wall climbing into a really small ledge in the corner of the room, allowing him to climb the shaft without using the elevator.
Yeah, it saves like roughly 30 seconds or so.
Don't try this in the hotel.
Just need a little bit more height. Just need a little bit more going the right way. There you go. Oh, okay. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to angle my camera perfectly so that it initiates a wall run opposite from where I'm jumping toward it. So sometimes you kind of bop the pole there, and it won't let Faith run at all. Let's try again.
So yeah, so basically he does two wall climbs. The first one goes to a certain height, and the second one as well, and that gives him the perfect angle to get into a really small corner right there. Normally that'll try to push you off, but if you get the perfect angle, the perfect height, you can land on the ledge.
Yeah, and I believe he bases a lot of this off of audio cues.
Yep.
Oh, no, that's fine. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's still faster.
That is a very hard skip. And that was recently implemented only like a few months ago, right?
Yeah, it's constantly being added. This skip was added, like the skip that we're about to do was added back in January. But all of that, despite dying and everything, I was still faster than the elevator.
It's a really slow elevator.
And it's not because it needs to load or anything. It's just because it needs.
There's a lot of story exposition that goes on in there. It's
Yeah.
supposed to build up dramatic tension.
So the story here is that you're messing with KSEC. It's a post-apocalyptic world, and corporations rule it. And KSEC is a company that serves as the government, and they're destroying your home base because they don't like people who can parkour. We're too fresh to death.
So coming up here is fight skip. He's gonna skip a big fight that usually takes a long time. There's like 4 or 5 waves of enemies that you got to go through. So what he's gonna do is gonna get out of bounds, and he's gonna run away from the area, and that's gonna unload the area underneath all the enemies, and they'll just kind of fall to their death.
Yeah.
Except the first step of getting out of bounds is really, really hard, and that's what was the barrier to finding the skip for the longest time.
We have to solve this.
Fun fact. So you see that the bar says skipping, right? And I filled it, right? It's just a fact of life that the game, for whatever reason, I think it's like loading light cues and stuff, so that's why that happens. It just takes a while to skip. So I'm actually doing a bunch of setups, and there we go.
Backup worked.
They're all just different ones to get up onto this light pole right here. This is very precise. Got it.
Nice.
That is a really, really tough skip. That's one of the toughest in the game. And you'll see him pause buffering here to stay running on this while he's kind of out of bounds.
Yeah, so what the pause buffer does is it resets Faith's position to standing instead of sliding, so he can just kind of pause buffer on top of the slope.
Yeah. Any slippery surfaces, that a lot of them which try to keep you out of bounds, you can just pause buffer, just mash escape.
Lets you run on slippery surfaces you're not supposed to be running on.
So yeah, this is him just going far enough away from the area that it unloads the ground from underneath all the guys.
Yeah. So the cursor, or like that little circle that you see around the very center reticle, That's the enemy. So you can see that they're still spawned, and they're still spawning. At the beginning of the fight, I kill 2 guys to initiate the next wave. And then I'm trying to get them all to spawn so that when I hit about right here, the floor unloads underneath them. And eventually you'll just start seeing it kind of flicker and die out. So that's all of them falling to their death. And we just gotta wait for a cutscene to hit. Okay, so that's a cutscene of the boss guy just being tossed out of bounds. Now I'm gonna purposely destroy myself so that right when I get out of that cutscene, I die and it reloads the area. So that instead of us just falling to our death again, the layer is brought back. So that actually saves about 5 or 6 in-game time seconds. That was, oh, well, oops. That skip that I just did was found like 3 or 4 days ago.
So that kind of brings a question to my mind is, with this Mirror's Edge Catalyst community, how are most of you finding these tricks? You said this game's like constantly evolving. Is there like a specific person who's found a lot of them? Are you all kind of contributing to that? And what are you doing to test these things out?
It's a shared community effort. About to go out of bounds right here. But we have a lot of people who have just destroyed the game. I mean, some of these skips are even Alex's. And I'm not too good at finding strats. I'm just good at doing them, I guess. But yeah, we have a lot of great runners, a really dedicated community to breaking the game. And the floor is going to unload underneath us, and that means the mission is over.
Nice.
So what he did there is there's just a chase sequence. Normally in any percent, you'd have to run to the next safe house. That's just the in-game mechanic for getting the enemies off of you, even just when you're in the open world. But luckily in New Game Plus, the lair still counts as a safe house. So you can just kind of get back on the slope, run back to where you came from, and the mission ends.
Yep. This would be a good time for donations.
Sure thing. We have $70 from Ace Zephyr, who says, super excited for the Catalyst run. Glass isn't broken enough. We have a huge $500 donation.
Woo!
Wow.
It's a lot of Chipotle burritos.
From Anonymous, just reading Death to the Animals.
Aww.
$20 from Anonymous. Hi, Matt. It's your old friend Drew. You used to run too far ahead of me in Left 4 Dead, and it made me mad. I guess you always just wanted to run fast. I see that now. I love you.
That was cute.
So I'm just kind of nodding my head and smiling because I can't hear the donations because I'm partially deaf. This mission is really straightforward. We only have one major skip, and it's that button right there. So you can kind of tell what the game wants you to do based on where the diamond is located. So you have a button that kind of loads this platform over here, but instead we're going to skip it with a very careful corner wall run. Yeah. Got it.
Nice.
Nice.
Saves a few seconds.
It's similar to the corner wall climb, but you just wall run around the corner instead of wall climb.
There's so much going on in this run, it's almost hard to appreciate just each trick. I mean, you guys are just constantly sequence breaking this game.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably, how much of the game do you think you do as intended, quote unquote?
I'd say about 50-50. 50-50. Because sometimes you can't tell if that's what the developers wanted you to find. Because, you know, you can easily ignore the runner's vision.
Yeah.
Usually it's when the game won't let you progress unless you hit a checkpoint that we realize that we kind of broke it. So for instance, we can actually get to the end of Sanctuary much faster. And the way that we do that is we load up the mission, we quit the mission, and then when we load up again, the world state is in the New Game Plus world state where everything has been completed, and a lot of chambers have been opened up, and so we can kind of run it almost like some of the dashes that happen down there and run straight to the end. But the problem is that if we don't hit the second button in that mission, which was the only button that you guys saw me hit, it will not let you complete the mission.
So there's things that you could possibly figure out in the future that you guys just don't know
Yeah.
what to do at this point.
Yeah, there's a lot of cases where we've really broken the missions and figured out ways to get to the end, but just because of the checkpoints, we have to figure out, okay, what kind of different checkpoints can we use to override the previous ones so we can get further. This mission is kind of all about following the runner's vision and oh my god, okay.
You haven't sung yet. What's going on?
I know. Yeah. I haven't. Oh well. Moving on. I tried going for a springboard right there, but sometimes if you hit it at a weird angle, it won't give you anything. It just kills your speed. But yeah, this game wants you to. Oh, I was clipping into an enemy there. This game wants you to run all around this room and kill all these enemies, but we can just run straight for these little sentry drones.
It's a running theme in all Mirror's Edge games. Just running past enemies.
Oh god.
Yeah.
That was not intended, but hey, it worked.
Yeah, here's just another room where there's guards everywhere. And in any percent, it's a little bit more dangerous because you have less health, but in New Game Plus, you can pretty safely run through them.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 health upgrades that you have in New Game Plus that you don't have in any percent.
Yeah.
That guy was pretty rude. I've never been hit right after pushing those sentries off. And we're good. So usually at the end of a mission, it has like big red text that tells you that you're finished. But the queue for when these missions actually can be exited out of or when they're actually finished are different. So assuming you pull up the menu at different times, it won't let us progress otherwise. So I'm not just loading a mission in the middle of a mission. Let's talk a little bit about Vive.
Yeah, so after the previous 2 missions, they were kind of straightforward. Vive goes back to the kind of game-breaking out of bounds that we want to see. There's some really cool out of bounds stuff that we got in here, and it just skips basically rooms where you're being shot at and everything. It's pretty safe to go through as well. There's a out of bounds at the end of it as well that saves you from having to possibly go through an area where you can instantly die for whatever reason. Nice and safe to get these out of bounds.
So the first out of bounds, it doesn't look like it, but right here, jumping up here.
Yeah,
it's out
this
of
is
bounds.
not intended. I'm going to slide underneath this imaginary wall, and then using a ledge board, I'm going to spring up out of bounds.
And also hit a trigger for the checkpoint.
Yeah.
So it's not supposed to look like this, huh?
But contrary to popular belief. No. Tough skip coming up. Oh, no. So I'm trying to do a corner wall climb on an invisible wall because we're on the side that doesn't have a texture.
He's the only person who does that, by the way. There are much safer strats there.
But that's not any fun.
I like to go fast. Okay. Here you go. Got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
The cool thing about this trick is you can literally see the rooms that we're skipping.
Yeah.
Like
Now it's just a
from-
matter of getting back inbounds, but luckily this wall is very generous, so we're
Yeah.
good.
Which is not normal, actually, because in a lot of out-of-bounds skips, especially in certain later missions that we found, or potential skips, we haven't figured them out just yet, there's two-way collision, which helps us stand on these out-of-bounds places, but it also prevents us from going back in, so we're really fortunate to have that little gap there. And we've also found out how to get all the way up here, too, with out-of-bounds, but it's significantly slower, so sometimes it's just faster to platform efficiently. That skips this room here.
Yeah, you can get a wall climb from that pole. It seems like you should be wall running from after the pole, and that's definitely what they intended, but you can't get the wall climb.
Yeah. Huge skip right there.
It really doesn't look like it, but grabbing that invisible floor is a huge workaround that you just skipped.
Yeah. This is, that's called turret skip. We're supposed to run around this building and disable these turrets that take minutes, but instead, and here's one more, we clip up to the next floor above us and skip all that platforming. Now, by hitting that button, I'm now back on track with the game. The game has caught up with me. So we're you can see like the runner's vision is back a little bit more.
Now this room is kind of tricky. You actually don't want to go too fast through here because if you get to the crane a little bit too quickly, it'll break it and it won't progress. So you kind of just want to run through it.
Yeah, I got a really good collision boost right there, so I actively have to slow down. Or else you'll just be sitting there, hanging there, wondering why it's not going.
And grabbing the left side of this crate is intentional because that'll help you get a nice vault onto this.
Yeah,
It's also important to note that Faith has some pretty fresh kicks on, so
yeah. One of those fresh kicks includes clipping into the floor right there.
Also, we're back out of bounds.
Oh yeah, we
And-
were out of bounds for like a hot second.
But also, we're back inbounds now, so it's fine.
Yeah. We squid some stuff. You can just trust us.
Okay, but we're back out of bounds now.
Yeah, this is actually out of bounds. Here's an invisible wall,
oh, nice.
and some tough corner wall climbs coming up right here. Got it. Okay, now we're on an invisible floor, and this is the trigger for the end of the mission.
So Matt, for people watching that might be interested in picking up the speed run, how accessible is it? Are there a lot of safe strats where you can actually maybe not do some of these difficult tricks, or?
Yeah, actually, I would say that if you can beat this game, you can speedrun this game. Because the game trains you to run it really well. The great thing is that a lot of it looks really cool, and it makes you feel really cool, and it's not that hard. It's all right. I mean, of course, like anything, you got to put in the time, but yeah, if you beat this game and you enjoy doing the dashes, which are like little time trial runs that are littered around the open world, you will definitely enjoy it. Like, you can definitely speedrun this. This is a skip, by the way.
Yeah, so what he's doing is pretty much just wall climbing up on the side of this building. Rather than going around and going through it, he just kind of gets on top. It's kind of tricky because the wall climb area is really small. You have to do it pretty much right next to where the rope hooks into the wall.
Yeah, got a little 29 roll there. Sometimes when you land on a platform and you roll, you'll roll to the floor beneath you, and so you don't take any damage, and it saves on some animation frames. Shout outs to RE2929, who is a former Mirror's Edge drummer and also started off with this game. It's named after him since he found it. Right now we're typically chasing after this helicopter in the story to get somewhere where we need to go. And we are now, because of that skip, we are way super ahead of it. So now we just gotta wait. Just taking our time. Okay, there we go. Might not seem like it, but we actually saved a lot of time there by doing that. You're either very ahead of it or you're behind significantly. Right now, I'm going to hit reload checkpoint because it puts our checkpoint further into this elevator shaft, and it's faster than playing through that room. Both in-game time and real time, like this load screen is faster. Then you're going to see me kind of just fall down the shaft. It wants us to ride these elevators down, but we can just do a carefully placed death right here, and we'll spawn further down.
So that death abuse is part of a setup coming up for this trick called door drop, if you want to explain that.
Yeah, so what he's going to do coming up is he's going to drop down the shaft again, but he's going to open up a door at the bottom, and if you can do it pretty much frame perfect timing.
That was just a hair too soon.
Yeah, it's funny because she got the door opening animation there, but it was too soon, and you can do it too late too, and still get the door opening animation. So it's just really tricky.
Right now, I'm trying not to touch my camera. If your camera is ever so slightly off, then the trajectory for Faith's fall is completely different. So, camera. Hold forward. Got it.
Wow.
So that just skips an elevator that you'd have to take down. That would be really slow.
Yeah.
What's up with the elevators in this game?
I don't know, because there's an elevator right here too, but,
It's like a hotel elevators here.
So that puts us down this area as well. When we first were trying to break this mission, we were using Float Glitch, because Float Glitch was found pretty early on when this game released. And we quickly realized it's just faster to fall to your death than it is to float at the speed of a crawl for several minutes, because the building's really tall. Oh yeah, and I skipped more stuff. More stuff happened.
Seems like a running theme.
Yeah. It's you're skipping minutes and you don't know. It's really hard to communicate exactly what we're skipping. But every room has like a ton of stuff in it. So
What would you estimate a casual playthrough of this game, or even a run that you would do where you don't do the tricks? How much longer would it take?
well, my casual run through, the very first time I beat this game was about 10 hours. And then like I would say a speed run where you were purposefully going fast would probably take 3. In New Game Plus, that'd be like, yeah, roughly 2 or comparable.
But world record for this category is?
Sub 50.
Okay. So you're cutting like 2 hours of content.
Yeah. Right now, I'm just trying to kill the enemies as fast as possible. Oh. Okay. Oh, these guys are very rude. Okay. Okay.
I don't know
All
who
right, there we
raised
go.
them.
All right, so that now we're on a countdown timer for a train. And we don't have to fight this boss guy. In fact, he's clipped into the couch right there, and he can't get out. So we just stand and wait. And fun fact, we're waiting for this train, but the train is right there. It's just sitting, doing nothing. So we're just, just chilling out. Mirror's Edge Catalyst, y'all.
Who of us hasn't been stuck in a couch, though?
That support couch is really comfy. All right. So it's a really long white screen, and this is why we use in-game time instead of real time. The load screens can be a little notorious. In casual play, it's all right. Not bad at all, because you're running everywhere. But in certain areas, there's undocumented load screens. It doesn't look like a load screen, but it actually is. So we have to remove those in the speedrun.com leaderboard. So if you check on the leaderboards right now, you'll notice that the times don't match up between the actual run and then the leaderboard time, and that's because we're actively removing those. Coming up is probably the most important glitch in the game, so I would like to ask for quiet time.
Plastic. There's a huge blast door blocking my way here.
Oh, wait. There.
Wow. Really ought to go see the film last night.
Got it. So this is Moonwalk Glitch. We just have to wait for this door to go down. So I mean, like, it's just free time right there. But yeah, just walk and then hammer the other side. Like
Okay,
really
somebody needs to explain what just happened and why it was important.
quick.
Alex?
Oh, it's not important.
No? Okay.
It sets up good RNG for the rest
You
of
got
SGDQ.
me. You tricked me. You tricked me, buddy. Sets up RNG for the whole rest of SGDQ? Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
That was big.
So this mission is quite on rails. It's all about efficient platforming. And we can actually get to the very end of the mission, and we've broken this in several ways. We can get out of bounds, we can do all that. But because of the way checkpoints work, if we don't go down into the level and follow it kind of blow for blow, we can't progress the mission. Because to the right of me, you can actually see the end of the mission from where we just jumped off from. And it's just a float glitch away. So this would actually be a good time for donations.
Sure thing. We have $500 from Sliced Lime.
Slice.
Who says, had to get up at 3 a.m. to watch Matchbox Matt break our game. Good luck on the run, and don't let the rat derail you.
Thanks, Slice Lime. So Slice Lime has been a huge help as a developer of this game, and he's on our Discord and helps us whenever we're in need. folks in DICE are super supportive.
How did they feel about you breaking their game so badly?
Well, they responded to it pretty well last time their game got broken, so.
That's awesome.
Okay. All right, running to a checkpoint. So originally I thought that that was an overriding checkpoint, and if we could just clip out of bounds and run into that cutscene, then we would be fine, but no go. Oh yeah, story-wise, so we're trying to save the world through parkour, and we're fighting against the corporations, and there's this huge device, it's like an iPhone for your brain. It's called Reflection, and we're trying to stop it because it can control people's emotional states. So right here, we're trying to save the guy that they stole. He's basically our surrogate father. And yeah, that's what we're running into right now. Infiltrating. And we just met someone who's super important to the story, I guess.
Another interesting little speed tech is you saw him jump kick there. The jump kick does a lot in the original Mirror's Edge, and this one it's still useful. Basically, the kick does physically extend Faith's hitbox, so she can hit triggers early and start cutscenes early. It's really important in the dashes and the ILs where you're trying to jump into the trigger, and every millisecond really counts.
Right here. Okay, so I have to dash back and make sure I crouch because these guys can actually shoot you through the floor.
I'm on my way back up.
But
Elevators.
yeah, another donation's always good too.
Absolutely. $150 from Malnor Maloo. The glitches Matt is showing us in Mirror's Edge Catalyst are almost as crazy as the ones Ninja showed us in the first one. Good luck to the runners and bad luck to the animals.
Alright. So normally I'm supposed to springboard, but you can just climb that wall once it stops. And okay, I'm gonna wait for that diamond to disappear. Okay, mission's over.
So now we're really in the tail end of the run. We've got 3 missions left.
Yeah. It's a very front-ended run because a lot of the stuff, like what you saw in Release and in Flytrap and well, amongst other things, they're very much 50-50. And if you fail them, then you're dead, and it's basically a reset. So it's kind of liberating after Flytrap. We can coast just a little bit, well, mostly, except for things like Door Drop. Here we're talking about how we're going to stick it to the man and attack all these guys.
Yeah, now we're breaking into the boss guy's apartment to hack his personal stuff. He knows we're coming, spoiler alert, but we parkour away, so it's no big deal.
He's just not ready for it.
Yeah. They talk about fighting the enemies, but we're going to skip all of them. This is another kind of case where if you blink, you'll miss it. We're going to skip the entire first floor and the second floor as well. And here it is.
Something interesting that you can't really do in the first game is you can wall run on a wall and then also climb up that same wall. You can do it in the first game, but it's kind of like a segmented trick. It's pretty easy, and it's used to skip floors just like that.
Yeah. So in casual play, that's like a 2-minute room of just running through people. Even if you ignored all the enemies and just run past them, it really takes you all around the place. Do another 29-29 roll right here.
So outside of the really difficult reset points, what would you say the hardest part about running this game is?
There is a lot of tiny details. I guess we kind of gloss over it, but even the speed with which you climb stuff, that's a slow animation of a climb. And there's a lot of wall boosting and bunny hopping. The time has gone significantly down because we take advantage of those things.
Yeah. Something I think every Mirror's Edge runner glosses over in marathons is you can really manipulate. Oh, there you go, most important glitch.
Yeah, if you come into, you can actually get out of here out of bounds. And there's no elevator for whatever reason, and there's no wall behind the elevator. This elevator is just randomly sticking outside of this building.
Yeah, just to finish what I was saying, I'm sorry. You can really manipulate fast vaults of which kind of vaults you're getting, which kind of climbs you're getting, just by how you're looking at a wall and if you're holding W while you're looking at the wall. So that's really important. Little details that not worth talking about usually.
Yeah.
Like where the camera's facing, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. If you look like straight at a wall versus kind of like looking at an angle, you'll climb up faster if you're looking at the angle. So little stuff that's used constantly.
Connected.
We got it. Now get out of there.
This is a really nice apartment.
Yeah.
When I first played this game, I spent like a good 10 minutes just walking around and looking at it.
Corruption pays, apparently.
Oh, this is pretty crazy. It's a really cool cutscene where she rides this little drone down.
Yeah, it actually takes you down. Like you see all of it. But that is Family Matters.
2 more missions.
Yeah, 2 more missions, and Tickets Please is where some first-time runners get frustrated because after this game and all these really well-designed missions, you have this mission which doesn't work with the physics of the game. A lot of movement is based on the safety barriers provided for you, so you can't just like run off. Like the game will try and push you back onto a platform, so it feels really good, but for this mission, like the tiny little platforms that you have to climb on can be detrimental because the game will pull you so hard back on the floor that it'll carry you over to the other side and dump you off to your death. So instead of doing any platforming on those things, we just climb on top of those instead. Those like little things I was climbing on, I was supposed to pull down, and it was like a little platform.
Another interesting little speed tech he's doing is to get enough height to grab those, he's actually coiling. Oh, that's cool. He actually cancels the stumble there using the door. But coiling in this game is interesting because although it does slow you down your forward momentum, it also gets you a little bit of height. So you can use that in a lot of places to get up higher and grab ledges you're not supposed to.
What are you doing to stop these fans?
Oh, I'm using a disruptor, which is just like a little skill that you get in the mission. That's the only purpose, is to destroy fans.
Yeah, again, that's just a barrier for the story-wise for you to not move forward into the world until they want you to.
Sure.
Yeah. But we have our ways.
You can kind of mash through it and even walk through a moving fan, or what looks like it should kill you.
All right. Ooh, okay. All right. So it almost fooled me off. And that would have been really bad because we would have been warped back like a whole minute.
Yeah, any death here, you go back to the previous button that you pressed last. So if you finish, or if you die at the next button, you have to go all the way back.
Yeah. So right now I'm pacing my movement to a T to make sure that I can set up this final platform that I got to jump on top of.
Yeah, the platforms are on cycles, so because they're moving platforms here, so it's important that sets it up right.
There we go. Got it. So if you are trying this at home, I'm hitting coil to make sure that I grab onto these platforms since it brings you up.
And
You
what is
can't-
coil?
Coil is this. There we go.
Yeah, it's just a part of the skill tree. Faith can't pull her legs up physically until she learns the skill, so
Man,
yeah.
she's like been alive for a long time without being able to do that.
She's had a tough life. All right. And this will be a good time for another donation.
All right, we have $5 from J. Deem. He says, stuck at work? I feel like a dad missing his son's graduation. Good luck to my 2 baby boys. Send us a snap from the couch, Alex. Also, shout out to Slice Slime, the DICE dev who went through and made every cutscene skippable.
All right. And when we touch that, the mission's over.
Ooh, last
So
mission.
now we're getting to the end here. How's the incentive looking for the Easter egg?
The incentive has been met.
Woo!
Oh, we can. Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you guys for your donations. Keep going at it. This beginning is a throwback to the first Mirror's Edge. So you might have noticed that we haven't gone on any trains yet. Well, I mean, like we go on them and it's a cutscene and it's loads. So we finally get to go on top of a train.
Yes.
here's the thing. It's also a load screen because, you know, exposition dump and more load screens. You can get hit by things. It doesn't really matter. So we're good for another donation.
It's messing up the grid.
Sure thing.
A lot of things up as an unstopper, not the least the host themselves. Once Kruger starts to spare
We have $150 from Mr. Zbub. GDQ events are always inspiring. I'm proud of what our community can accomplish. Keep doing what you do. GLHS. The animals are fictional. The frames are real. $25 from Jazzy250. Says Mirror's Edge and Mirror's Edge Catalyst were two games that I used to rage about for days on end. Watching these games finish so fast is a form of vicarious living for me. Thank you for that. Money to Nisam Dorma, because who doesn't want to hear that after a Ratchet & Clank run?
All right, so we're getting to the Easter egg right here. And this is out of bounds. Like, you're technically not supposed to be on this, except for this little thing.
Yeah, this is 100% not the right way to go. The game makes that very clear. So you really have to be going out of your way to travel on these rails.
Oh, gosh.
I guess they throw trains at you to tell you
Yeah.
not to go there. Huh?
These are super temperamental, by the way. It's a lot harder than it looks, because if I hold forward too long, it's going to pull me to my death, just from the way that the animations work. It really wants you to grab and pull over into a vault. Is that? No, that's not it. Oh, no. Oh, okay, gotta give it another shot. It's okay. Fun fact, you keep on, if you get out of bounds, or if you climb to the top of this building, which is called the Shard, and float glitch all the way down here, like the collision just stops. So they really did never intend you to go past these 5 little notches.
I'll say as you start this over again, I don't know anything about the story, but I'm really looking forward to the final cutscene again.
The final cutscene is glorious. Okay, so we've been giving the story a hard time. It's kind of like the first game meets Michael Bay, and you know, like the first half of the game, like each cutscene is someone yelling at someone else. It's a really hard life working for the conglomerate all the time. So. But then everyone stops kind of taking themselves so seriously, and it becomes really charming. And that kind of comes to a head at the very end. What is that?
Is that a pig?
It's a rat.
That's actually a giant rat. For
Yeah.
people who stuck around from the first Mirror's Edge run, the joke continues 8 years later. Yep.
The rat train. And some of the that was an Easter egg. That's all there is to it.
But to put it in
Your
perspective,
donations.
this rat has nothing to do with the story of the game. It just keeps popping up, though.
Yeah. In the load screens, it tells you like if you see the rat the size of a car, you're playing the wrong game. Reference to the first game.
high alert following the bomb.
So this mission, when I first played it, I just found stunning. It's so beautiful. It's so gorgeous.
Been unable to find a
And a little auto-scrolly, but it's okay. There's some pretty big skips. Just keep your eyes peeled. You're not going to know when it hits you, I promise. But this is another good time for donations.
It's Julie up here.
That's due to a change in air density. I just looked it up. Oxygen content will go down as well, but that's not a serious problem below 18,000 feet.
We sure do. We have a $100 donation from Anonymous. I'm a coach with a local parkour team and just had to donate during the Mirror's Edge games. Donation to Runner's Choice and a shout out to Parkour Generations Boston.
What did you just do?
I just despawned enemies. I don't know how.
I've never seen that.
That's awesome. That hallway is supposed to have enemies. Also, that entire first half, I was timing as quickly as I could to make sure that I caught the first cycle of that fan, and we got it. So,
This is literally my nightmare in real life, what you're doing.
I've reached the top.
and here's another little skip. All right, there we go. And then this is pushing me against an invisible wall, so that funnels me towards that.
Yeah, there's some stairs way over there, but going over there is slow.
Nice. So that's another little optimization, coiling up things and avoiding any kind of animation, but it's a little harder than it looks.
And right
Here's-
here, yeah, he's going to use the wall climb turn on there. Instead of just jumping to the pipe, you do the wall climb turn to skip a trigger. Normally there's debris that falls and it tries to hit you, and you're forced to kind of backtrack onto some old poles that you already climbed on to make sure the debris doesn't hit you, but the wall climb turn skips that trigger. So you can just climb all the way up, no pressure.
All right. Little optimization right here, rolling into that vent. And our first glimpse of green. Kinda, sorta.
So Matt, how does it feel to have the eyes of the real parkour community on you right now?
It feels fine. Feels fine. Fun fact, you can float glitch around here, and you can float on top of those rocks, but the rest doesn't have any collision, so you'll just fall to your death.
Yeah, this game has a lot of tools for just exploring out of bounds areas for fun,
Yeah,
even if it's not useful.
You can you can really break it because float glitch opens up so many things. Then nothing especially important is happening here at all.
This isn't important. Don't even, just close your eyes. It's not. Okay. So what he did there is, you can kind of see he's climbing up this pole, but now he's just climbing up this nothing.
That's impressive.
So that's called pipe pole because you jump from the pole onto the pipe. It's really well named. And what you can do from that is you just kind of disconnect Faith's hitbox from the pole and you can infinitely climb. So you can just use that to climb to the top of this elevator shaft without having to worry about anything.
Yeah, yeah. This would be a good time for donation as well.
Sure thing. $50 from Serial Port. I worked as a programmer on this game for almost 4 years, so I had to donate. I'm amazed at the number of glitches I'm seeing, and we're not 4 minutes in yet. No, a little more than 4 minutes now. This community is awesome, and SGDQ is awesome, and Doctors Without Borders is awesome. Keep running and save the animals.
So there's the rest of the mission, by the way, if you want to see it, because you're not going to normally. Yeah, this keeps going forever. You can climb this forever.
Wow. That's a long time.
Why, yes. Yeah, you think. This mission is really beautiful, and when you play it casually on your own time, I promise it's a delight. Like, glass is shattering, and it's super cinematic. It's wonderful. But we never get to see it because something special is, I think I see in the distance.
Oh, we're going up.
If one of you guys want to explain what's happening here.
So pretty much he's just gonna use this glitch to take himself all the way to the very end of the mission. So the final door is at the top of this.
Yeah, and possibly one of the most convenient skips in the most convenient skip in this game, let alone one of the most convenient skips I can think of. The trigger for the door is above the one pole that you can infinitely climb in the entire game.
That's awesome.
So this skips like 5-6 minutes, way longer if you're casually playing through. But if you're like hardcore, trying to speedrun it, it saves a ton of time.
Yeah, and conveniently it's loaded at the top all the way up here, which is fantastic. So time's coming up, right?
Yeah. Once I burst through this door, we are done.
And then we get some real acting.
Dumb.
That's time.
So, as is tradition, we like to kind of bask and enjoy this cutscene. Won't do the entire thing, just a little bit.
My name is Caitlin Connors.
Just
You're the daughter
Right in
of
the
Erica
face.
and Martin. And my sister.
I have no sister. You left me!
Actor of the Year,
They
Matchbox
said you
Matt.
died in the riots with Mom and Dad. I cried for months.
And then
And,
I
yeah,
convinced
then
myself that
that's-
you
It was the only way. It gets even better, but I would just like to. I'm gonna skip this because I can't watch that and, and thank people at the same time. I get too involved. Thank you so much to the Mirror's Edge Catalyst Discord community. It is the most amazing set of people. We really like a family. And if you're interested in running this game, or even if you're just interested in playing it, pick it up. I promise you, you'll have a good time. And we have the Discord available on speedrun.com. So if you're interested in joining us, we're actively breaking the game. We're finding something new almost every month. Like a couple skips in this were found like literally this past week. So we're very active, and I'd like to thank my amazing couch and my amazing friends. Thank you so much.
Please follow Matchbox Matt if you don't already. You're a fool if you don't. Go to his channel, hit that follow button right now.